So you've blamed President Obama and the Obama administration for colluding with movie companies in order to orchestrate this giant arrest here in New Zealand. Now, is this kind of give and take relationship between Washington and Hollywood all that you say it is, or are you just the exception? Does this really exist?
Well, I mean, you have to look at the players behind this case, okay? The driving force, of course, is Chris Dodd, the chairman of the MPAA. And he was a senator for a long time. And he is, according to Joe Biden's best friend. And the state attorney that is in charge of this case has been Joe Biden's personal counsel while he was a senator, Neil McBride, and also worked as an anti-piracy manager for the BSA, Business Software Association, which is basically like the MPAA but for software companies. So, and also the timing is very interesting, the election time, the fundraisers in Hollywood set for February, March, April. And there had to be some kind of plan B, an alternative for SOPA. And Hollywood is a very important contributor to Obama's campaign, not just with money, but also with the media support. They control a lot of media, celebrity endorsements and all that. So I'm sure the election plays an important role. The relationships of the people that are in charge of this case play an important role. And of course we have facts that we want to present at our extradition hearing that will show some more detail about this, and that this is not just some conspiracy theory, but this actually happened.
But the US Justice Department wants to extradite you, a German citizen living in New Zealand, operating a business in Hong Kong. They want to extradite you back to the US. Now, is that even possible?
Well, see, that is a very interesting question, because the extradition law, the extradition treaty in New Zealand doesn't really allow extradition for copyright. So what they did, they threw some extra charges on top, and one of them is racketeering, where they basically say we are a mafia organization and we set up our internet business to basically be an organized crime network that was set up and structured the way it was just to do criminal copyright infringement. And anyone who has ever used Mega Upload or has any idea about how that website worked knows immediately that that is total nonsense. But they needed to chop that on in order to have even a chance for extradition. But in our opinion, you see, all of that, I think, was secondary. The primary goal was to take down Mega Upload and destroy it completely. That was their mission, and that's why the whole thing in Hong Kong, for example, they called it Operation Takedown.
So speaking of internet freedoms, you say that the new program, Mega, is fully encrypted, and you're touting it as this encrypted program so that people want to use it. Do you think this is even necessary, that right now people need encryption on the internet? How is it even possible that nothing seems safe nowadays from prying eyes?
I think it's important for the internet that there is more encryption, because what I have learned since I got dragged into this case is a lot about privacy abuses, about the government spying on people. The US government invests a lot of money in spy clouds, massive data centers with hundreds of thousands of hard drives storing data. And what they are storing is basically any communication that traverses through US networks. And that means they are not spying on individuals based on a warrant anymore. They just spy on everybody permanently all the time. And what that means for you and anybody is if you are ever a target of any kind of investigation, or someone has a political agenda against you, they can use all that data, go through it with a comb and find the things. Even though you think you have nothing to hide and you've done nothing wrong, they will find something that they can nail you with. And that's why it's wrong to have these kinds of privacy abuses. And I decided to create a solution that over time is going to encrypt more and more of the internet. So we start with files, we will then move to email, we'll then move to voice over IP communication, and our API is available to any third-party developer to also create their own tools. And my goal is, within the next 5 years, I want to encrypt half of the internet, you know? Just re-establish a balance between a person, an individual, and the state. Because right now we are living very close to this vision of George Orwell, and I think it's not the right way. You know, it's a wrong path that the governments are on, thinking that they can spy on everybody.
Now, something a lot of people have been wondering about is the case of Ninja Video. Now, they were a client that uploaded material onto Mega Upload that was then targeted by the Justice Department. Long before Mega Upload was ever taken down, the Justice Department was looking into Ninja Video, and you actually cooperated with them. And people want to know, how is this Kim Dotcom, the guy who is, you know, incredibly against Washington and, you know, hates everything that they've done to him, how is this same guy also helping out the Justice Department before? Which Kim Dotcom should people think is the real one?
Well, let me explain to you how this worked, okay? I was a good corporate citizen. My company was abiding to the laws. If we get a search warrant or we get a request by the government to assist in an investigation, we will comply. And we have always complied. And that is the right thing to do. Because if someone uploads child pornography, if someone uploads terrorist stuff, or anything that, you know, is a serious crime, of course we are there to help, you know. This is our obligation. And I am not for copyright infringement. People need to understand that. I'm against copyright infringement, okay? But I'm also against copyright extremism. And I'm against a business model, the one from Hollywood, that encourages piracy. Mega Upload is not responsible for the piracy problem, you see. It's the Hollywood studios that release a movie in the US and then 6 months later in other parts of the world. And everyone knows that movie is out there. The fans of particular actors want to have it right now, but they are not giving them any opportunity to get access to that content, even though they are willing to pay. And they are looking for alternatives on the internet, and then they find them. See, they are trying to make me responsible for their lack of ability to adopt to a new reality, which is the internet, you know, where everything happens now. It doesn't happen 3 months later. Imagine you go to Wikipedia, you want to find something, research an article, and they will come back in 3 months. You will give it to you then. Okay, if you find another site where you can get that right now, that's where you go, right? So it's really their business model that is responsible for this issue. And if they don't adopt, they will be left behind on the side of the road of history, like many others that haven't adopted in the past, you see?
And what about your skeptics who point out this big playboy lifestyle and this giant elaborate house, and they say that he's not worried about internet freedoms, he's just more concerned with protecting his profits?
Well, let me be clear, I'm a businessman, okay? I started Mega Upload as a business to make money, and I wanted to list the company. I'm an entrepreneur, all right? I'm not Aaron Swartz. Aaron Swartz is my hero. He was selfless. He is completely the opposite of me, but I'm a businessman. I'm driven by the success of achieving something in the business world, okay? That's not a crime. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not successful because people have used Mega Upload for copyright infringement. And what everyone needs to understand, there has been massive amounts of legitimate users on Mega Upload. You know, you don't believe that 50 million users a day are all just transferring piracy. That's wrong. It's a dual-use technology, just like the internet. You can go to any ISP right now, anyone who connects customers to the internet. And if they are honest to you and you ask them the question, how much of your traffic is peer-to-peer piracy? Anyone who will tell you less than 50% is lying to your face. This is a problem of the internet and not Mega Upload.
A year ago exactly, right here, the government came in and they arrested you. They shut down your website and they put you behind bars and they froze your assets. Now, it's been a year, but the one thing that also happened that day was members of the hacking group Anonymous, they retaliated, so to speak. They, in response, they went and they took down the websites for the FBI, for the Motion Picture Association of America, for the Department of Justice, for the Recording Industry Association of America. All of these organizations were all shut down by Anonymous in response to what they did to you. These are people you never met. Did you ever thank them? And how did you actually take that? How did you respond to their reaction?
Well, it's a kind of virtual protest, you know. I think it's not a good idea to shut down websites. I mean, I've been a hacker myself. I understand why they are doing it and how they are doing it. But I think there are better ways to protest, where you organize yourself in a group and do petitions and actually, email congressmen, email your local politicians, let them know about what you don't like, organize your movement rather than attacking. I mean, I had a sense of understanding for them because, everyone has stored so much data on Mega Upload, and when all of a sudden a site like that disappears and billions of files are taken offline, the majority of them perfectly legitimate. You need to understand one thing. 50% of all files that were ever uploaded to Mega Upload have not even been downloaded once. That clearly shows the non-infringing use. People just wanted to store their stuff on our site. And of course they were outraged when that disappeared and the government said, we don't give a damn about you people. We don't care that you have your personal documents there because we have our agenda and we are going to take over the internet. And the White House was supporting SOPA. And only when the masses came together, and Aaron Swartz, I mean, he stopped SOPA. With his efforts, he stopped SOPA and he became a target, a political target, okay? And that's why all these things happened to him. There is no reasonable cause behind going after a young genius like that in the fashion they did. It's political. Because the White House wanted SOPA, they promised it to Hollywood. And they failed, and they couldn't go ahead because the White House was afraid if they keep pushing hard and they keep pushing it forward, that the people who oppose it are not going to vote for Obama in the re-election campaign, you see? So it's all a game to them, really. And we are all the little puppets that they think they can kick around. So we need to organize. There needs to be a movement that identifies these things and fights that, not with shutting down websites, but with real protest. And especially, most importantly, don't vote for the guys that are against internet freedom. Anyone who voted for SOPA, you should have a close look at that guy. Do I want to give him my vote next time around? Because that's the only language politicians understand, is your vote.